So in April of this year, Movement Generation hosted a first of its kind permaculture design course, and we called it Permaculture for the People. That was the title of the course. The way that we spin the permaculture, we call it Liberation Permaculture. I guess you're gonna hear me use those two terms. 27 social justice organizers and activists from grassroots base building, movement building, resiliency, and yeah, other kinds of organizations, media organizations, took 2 weeks off of their work to be in this course. When does that ever happen? We were so surprised and so excited and thrilled that we got the confluence of sharp minds and amazing individuals representing such a broad spectrum of our movement community here in the Bay to come and learn this work with the idea that they're going to take it back and integrate it into what they do, which is so bomb already. So it does take the 2 full weeks to own the understanding of permaculture in a way that you don't have to think about it, you just understand it. But just to throw out a few definitions, conceptual definitions, so you can start to wrap your mind around it. It's a design methodology. Permaculture is in its technical sense, it's a design methodology for the development of regenerative human settlements, right? Not just generative, but regenerative, meaning that it doesn't just generate to supply for what's the immediate need. It perpetuates its own regeneration, right, exponentially, so that there's always more for those that are coming. Permaculture is about self-reclamation, and it's about cultural survival, literally cultural survival, and social political independence. It's a direct challenge, as it turns out, to the current political, economic, social setup. It's a direct challenge to capitalism, the way that it's structured. It offers a social ecological solution, right? It doesn't compartmentalize, right? Rather, it integrates on all levels, right? For maximum social, human, and earthly benefit. And it's a way of living, it's a way of life. It's an approach to life. Just like having liberation consciousness is an approach to the way you live your life. We all had that moment when that light bulb turned on, that aha moment, and you haven't done things the same ever since then, right? Yeah? Are you familiar with that? Okay, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Once you see, you're like, oh my God. And you don't see it the same anymore. And it changes the way you approach everything you do in a really beautiful, beautiful way. And it's held together by a set of ethics. 3 ethics. Care of the earth, right? So this means allowing provisions and resources for all life systems to continue and multiply. Care for people. This means allowing provisions for people to access the resources that they need that's necessary for their existence, not just to survive, but to thrive. Yeah. And the third is return the surplus. And this is about, when we govern ourselves and govern our own needs, then we make sure that we set aside resources for the earth and resources for ourselves, people, others, and all of our relations. So those are the 3 ethics. Anything that happens that's under the title of permaculture measures up to those. And there's a whole long set of principles, which we aren't going to get into, but the principles of permaculture are about the direct application. Okay, so it's a framework and a design science that really draws on traditional knowledge of land-based peoples all over the world, from all ethnicities. And it's in social justice work, it provides organizers with a methodology to resist systems of oppression by building community resiliency, right? We're all dependent on the beast that bites us, and community resiliency, permaculture being one way to manifest that, helps us depend on ourselves, on that knowledge that we have, that genetic memory that's been put to sleep, by the lull of the machine, wakes it up, gives you an opportunity to go back in there, dig it out, practice it all over again, bring it to life, and live it, and live it. And we can do that while we continue to work for equity and justice for our folks. That's the point. It's not one or the other. It's integration of the two. So for movement generation, specifically, the way we look at it, permaculture acts as a concrete manifestation of one of our core solution strategies, right? You've heard us talk about resistance, resilience, restoring, and reimagining and restoration, right? So fits pretty squarely in the resiliency, although it touches on all R's, actually. So it's a framework for a way of life that's very harmoniously integrated with our anti-oppression, an anti-capitalist and ecological justice worldview. And it brings completeness, it brings wholeness to our approach in trying to transform the world and bring about real change. So I'm going to stop there because we have some amazing panelists that are going to expound more on just how they connected with it and how it's impacted their work in their particular sector. And I'm going to hand it over to co-host number 3, Carlos Martinez, to introduce the panelists.
So we got a big room, so we're gonna have all the panelists actually stand. We were originally gonna do a little sit thing, panels, but that's not gonna work. So again, my name is Carlos from the Center for Political Education, and thank you all for being here tonight. And right now, we're just gonna basically hear pretty quickly from some 5 amazing folks that I got to spend a couple weeks with. We also participated in the 2-week permaculture course, and a lot. Beyond these 5 people, of course, there was a number of other people. As Greta was saying, about 28 folks that participated. But we felt that these 5 folks would be able to speak to a lot of the diversity of what we took from this course and how they're implemented into their work. So for the class.
I know, I totally I forgot that part. Can you please stand if you were a participant in the program? Okay, thanks. Sorry.
So first we're going to hear from Amanda Wake. She's a youth organizer in Asian Communities for Reproductive Justice in the Sapphire program, which is Sisters in Action for Issues of Reproductive Empowerment. She's a Yonsei 4th generation Japanese American and a 3rd generation community organizer. She believes doing work around reproductive justice is important to the empowerment of communities, and especially enjoys doing this work with young women she works with. Let's hear it up for Amanda.